Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name's Cashel. Welcome back to my channel. I try every week to tell you about a true crime case that I have researched, probably quite poorly. Please excuse the state of me. I've decided to film on the hottest weekend of the year thus far, and I am sweating like you wouldn't believe. So if you see me melt at any point in this video, that is why. Also, you may be able to hear my dogs panting because it is so hot. I don't have a fan. I've got one of those little handheld ones, but I tried to go out and buy a fan earlier and nowhere within a 15-mile radius had any fans left. So we're just gonna die. I've also chosen to film today because I go on holiday on Monday. Today's Saturday, I go on holiday on Monday, so I could do with a few cases to start editing whilst I'm away. Because my genius idea of having a big log of cases to just keep going through was great until I haven't filmed for weeks, so I have nothing left. But I hope everyone's had a fabulous week and is surviving in this heat. I bought myself a paddling pool earlier because I just can't cope. It's unbearable. This is the first time I've had a top on all day and I'm really feeling it. So today I'm going back to the theme of cases that have influenced laws, and we're going to be looking at the Amber Alert case today. Trigger warnings for today's case do include sexual assault and death of a child, so if that's something you don't want to listen to, totally get it. Hopefully I'll see you for another case. Content warning, as always, strong language. She was just 9 years old, riding her bike in broad daylight when a monster snatched her away. What followed was a desperate search, a devastated family, and a heart-wrenching outcome which would spark a nationwide movement to save other children just like her. This is the case of Amber Hagerman and how her tragic story led to the Amber Alert system. Amber Renee Hagerman was born November 15th, 1986 in Arlington, Texas, to Donna Whitson and Richard Hagerman. She was a bright, bubbly little girl who loved playing outdoors, playing on her bike, and with her 5-year-old little brother, Ricky. Amber lived in a lovely home with her mother and her brother. Her parents were divorced, but they were still very present in her life. She was described as confident and fearless. She was in 3rd grade at Arlington's Berry Elementary School, and she had dreams of one day becoming a teacher herself. January 13th, 1996 was a typical Saturday afternoon, and Amber and her brother were riding their bikes around the neighbourhood. They would often go to an abandoned Winn-Dixie because it was abandoned and it had a massive space for kids to ride about in. Amber told Ricky that she wanted to ride around the car park a little bit longer, and he wanted to go to their grandparents' house, which was just a couple of blocks down the road. Within minutes of being alone, Amber was abducted. At approximately 3:18 p.m, a man in a black pickup truck snatched Amber off her bike while she was screaming. Jim Kevill was the sole witness. He was 78 years old and he was in his garden when he saw and heard the commotion. He said he wouldn't have thought anything of it, but because she was screaming, he knew something was wrong and immediately called 911. He described a white or possibly Hispanic male, possibly in his 20s or 30s, under 6 foot, medium build with dark hair, driving a dark pickup truck with a short wheelbase. Despite his quick action, Amber and the truck vanished before anyone else could see what had happened or intervene. The Arlington Police Department did respond very quickly, launching one of the largest searches in Texas history. They had volunteers, helicopters, police dogs, and law enforcement agencies scouting the area. There was a $75,000 reward put out, but no one came forward with any information, which just seems mental because my door just slammed. Which just seems mental because it's the middle of the day. You would have thought that someone saw something. Amber's family made many tearful public appeals. Her parents were begging for her safe return, and tips did come in, but unfortunately none of them led to the suspect or the vehicle. Police ended up following up on hundreds of leads, but nothing stuck. 4 days later, on January 17, a man walking his dog found Amber's body. She was left behind in an apartment complex less than 5 miles away from where she was taken. She was found naked, brutally beaten, and her throat had been slashed. I think more disturbingly, the medical examiner surmised that Amber had been kept alive for around 2 days before she was killed. To this day, Amber's case has never been solved. I don't believe it's a shut case, I don't believe it's a cold case, because I believe they are still getting tips for it, but it's never been solved. Over the years, detectives and police kept re-examining the case. With advancements in DNA technology, they thought they might find something, but nothing has stuck yet. They have done numerous amounts of DNA testing, re-interviewing people, and public appeals, but no definitive suspect has ever been identified. The motive is presumed to be a sexual motive due to the way that Amber was found. After Amber's funeral, a woman named Diana Simone called up a radio station and said, if you can alert people so quickly to severe weather, why can't you do the same when children are missing? She said that the problem wasn't that people didn't see anything, it's that they didn't know what they saw. They didn't know what they were looking at, which is so true. Amber's mother, Donna, was absolutely devastated, but she turned her grief into action, and she asked the simple question, why was an alert given out that a child had been abducted? This question inspired what would be one of the most important child protection systems in modern history, the Amber Alert system. Later that same year, Dallas launched the America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response, or Amber Alert, and it was designed to immediately notify the public of child abductions. This uses television, radio, highway patrol system, mobile phones and internet to broadcast, and they normally broadcast like a description of the suspect and the vehicle details. And by 2003 the program had spread nationwide. As of today, over 1,100 children have been recovered thanks to the Amber Alert system. Although Amber's poor life was cut short, it meant that a system would be implemented that would save hundreds and thousands of children's lives. Her family, of course, still hopes for justice in her case, but they also know that Amber's name has become synonymous with child safety. Each January, the city of Arlington holds a memorial in Amber's name, and her mother continues to advocate for child safety programs across the US. The parking lot where Amber was abducted now has a memorial in her name, and her bicycle has been preserved in a local museum. Amber Hagerman was just a little girl who wanted to ride her bike. She never got the chance to grow up, but because of her, thousands of others have. And that is the end of today's story. It's kind of a bittersweet story in a way, because Amber's name has lived on and she has helped so many other people, but I'm sure Amber's mum feels that why couldn't my little girl have been saved? And the fact that there's still no leads or anything on that case is absolutely awful. So it's a bittersweet one, but I think it is important to know about, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that the Amber Alert was named after someone. I didn't know it was implemented because of someone. So I think it is a very important story to know about. But that is it for today. I need a positive thought. My positive thought at the moment will be when this friggin' heat stops. I'm so hot, and I'm sure at some point you've been able to hear my dogs. They are absolutely boiling and doing my head in. And I feel awful because there's absolutely nothing I can do, because I'm sweating too. There's nothing I can really do to ease their discomfort. Yeah, my positive thought is for cold weather. I'm looking forward to October already. But until next week we have got between two. We're either going to have the corn rake murder or the scuba diving murder. Not that one. That was a cool thing I did with my voice then. Do you hear that? Which one's thicker? I think they're both quite thick. I don't know which one. You'll find out. But until then, have a beautiful week. Make good choices. I don't have a good sign off for today because I'm too hot to think of anything clever. Don't get murdered. I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye. God, it's so fucking hot. Do I look like I'm sweating? Oh my God, I'm hot already. Oh my God. Please don't stop barking. I can't shut the windows. This is the case of What the fuck was that? Hector, are you done?